To Anna's right was a sharp ice pick, and to her left a hard leather whip. The boss threatened her. She must choose, either whip Henry 3 times or stab Mike, the man sitting next to her, in the thigh with the ice pick. But Mike's thigh had a major artery, and if she didn't hit it right, it could kill him. Reluctantly, Anna picked up the whip. Anna, being a kind soul, initially hoped to fake it. However, the boss insisted that she carry out the action for real. With no other option, Anna gathered all her strength, and Henry's back was immediately torn open by the lashes. Next, it was Mike's turn to make a decision. The boss again gave the choice, either stab Anna in the thigh with the ice pick, or lash Henry's back 3 more times. Mike was stunned. Why Henry again? Mike was caught in a dilemma. Refuse, and he would be killed. But if he chose the ice pick, there was a risk of fatal injury due to the artery in Anna's thigh. Reluctantly, Mike picked up the whip. Henry's back was again slashed, leaving it a bloody mess, and now it was Henry's turn to choose. He thought it might finally be someone else's turn, but the boss's next words froze him in place.
Would you rather stab Lucas, the man who just whipped you? Or, drum roll please, take 3 more lashes, this time administered by Bevins!
Henry completely broke down. However, being the kind-hearted person he was, he couldn't bear to hurt anyone, so he quietly decided to endure everything himself. After the 3rd lash, Henry collapsed, unconscious. The game props were placed in front of another person, and the rules remained unchanged. Either use the ice pick to stab the elderly woman beside them, or whip Henry 3 more times. Ellen, feeling torn, stared at the elderly woman and then at the unconscious Henry. If he whipped Henry again, Henry would definitely die. In the end, Ellen decided to stab the elderly woman. After all, she was paralyzed and couldn't feel the pain. But as fate would have it, Ellen hit the elderly woman's artery, and blood began spurting out. Ellen quickly tried to stop the bleeding, but the boss refused to halt the game. Now it was the elderly woman's turn to make a decision.
Or...
Fucking scratch me!
Her decisive actions shocked everyone. Then it was Lisa's turn to choose. At this point, the boss suddenly changed the game's rules. He said Lisa could now use the ice pick to stab anyone she chose. Lisa glanced at the elderly woman, then stood up and walked over to Anna. She had never liked Anna, so without hesitation, she stabbed Anna in the abdomen with the ice pick. At that moment, Henry suddenly collapsed on the ground. The butler rushed over and found that Henry was close to death, and the elderly woman, having lost too much blood, had died as well. The remaining people felt an overwhelming sense of despair. The 2nd round was coming to an end, and now it was Bruce's turn to choose. Either stab the next person's thigh with the ice pick, or whip Henry again. After a brief internal struggle, Bruce decided to pick up the whip. He thought Henry was already on the brink of death, so he might as well put him out of his misery. With that, Henry lost his life, and the 2nd round was over. But the remaining people were in even greater agony, for no one knew what the next nightmare would bring. Rather than continuing to die in this way, they realized they needed to unite and fight back. Seizing the moment when the boss was distracted, they stood up and started fighting with the boss's bodyguards. Bruce tried to take a swing at the boss, but with one shot, the boss ended his life. The others had no choice but to return to their seats. Now, out of the original 8 contestants, only 4 remained, and they would soon face an even more brutal 3rd round.